Hello friends, and happy October. So I don't know if you can see, well, let me make sure that you can see him. I want to make sure you can get the full glory of this shirt. Here he is. If you don't know who this is Sir Toby Toad. And I love, love, love him. Especially on this shirt. He's all dressed up and ready for the best month of the year, October. Okay. Get back down here so I can reach my stuff. Alright, so again, if you don't know who he is, you should. And definitely go give him a follow over on Instagram because he brings all the joy you can imagine. I love, love, love Sir Toby Toad. But you did not come here to hear about Toby Toad. You came here to find out what books I'm going to be reading this month. So I had already had my entire TBR planned out. And then on September 29th, 2 days before October started, I learned that there is such a fabulous thing as the Hocus Pocus Readathon, and I could not participate. So I went and checked out all the prompts and everything, and lo and behold, that most of the books that I was already planning on reading this month fit for this readathon. So it was absolutely meant to be. So that is exactly what we're doing this month. So let's actually get into that. Let me scoot up a little bit so I can reach my stuff. All right, so I do have all the prompts written down right here. So if I'm looking down and reading, it's because they're right here in front of me. Do try and excuse the massacre that happened on this sheet, but Mr. Tick had to die. And what is Halloween without a little bit of gore? So, for this readathon, I have chosen to be Team Trick or Treaters. So there are 3 teams. There's the Sanderson Sisters team, Team Undead, and Team Trick or Treaters, which is the one that I have chosen. And this is a points-based readathon. So for every prompt that you finish, you get points for your team, and then there are also some little extras sprinkled in as well. So for instance, it's 15 extra points for just watching the movie, and then I think you get 2 points per every 100 pages that you read this month. So those are some little extras. I will, of course, link the Twitter feed that all of this is found on down below, and there's a Google sheet that if you sign up for it, they'll add your name to it so you can add in your points for your team if this is something that you want to do. I recommend it because it's going to be awesome. Okay, so as I mentioned before, most of the books that are now on my current TBR because of this readathon were books that were on my TBR before I found out about this. And so I own 2 of those books that were still painting, and then I was already planning on getting one from the library this month, so that one's still on here. And then there's another one that I'm also going to get from the library, but it was one that was on my want to read eventually list already. So again, it was another thing that made it meant to be to participate in this readathon. Okay, so here are the prompts for the Team Trick or Treaters, which is what I'm doing. The first one in all of the teams is a group book, so everybody reads the same book or a very similar book if you don't have it. And my group book is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. This is one I'll be getting from the library. As I said, this one has been on my want to read list for a while. I originally heard about it from I think Ashleigh from A Frolic Through Fiction. So this is a middle grades fantasy novel, and it's about a town or a village who every year they pick a baby to sacrifice to a witch that lives in the nearby woods. And so every year they lay out a baby and then it's gone. And they hope that this is to help keep that evil witch out from doing anything for the town, doing anything evil, all that good stuff. But as it turns out, the witch is not actually bad. She's good. And she lives off in the woods by herself with her tiny dragon for a friend. And every year, she does not kill or eat these babies. She takes them and she safely delivers them to new homes, to new parents to raise them. And along the way, she travels through the sky to these families. And along the way, she feeds the babies starlight to help them, keep them nourished and happy. And one year, she accidentally feeds a baby moonlight instead of starlight. And because she is fed moonlight, this baby starts to develop magical powers. And so since she can't really give this magical baby to regular people to raise, she decides to do it for herself. So that's kind of the overall plot of this particular book. And I am excited to read it. This one is worth 15 points. The next prompt is for Max, and his prompt is to dress as a character while you read a book, and it is worth 10 points. So originally when I first read this, I thought, hey, I have a costume from last year when I went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and of course it's canceled this year, sadly. So I won't be able to dress up again for that. So I thought I would reuse it. I was Tamatoa, the shiny crab from Moana. But then I got to thinking that, well, maybe they meant a character from the movie. It wasn't quite clear, so I decided to play it safe. And instead, I have chosen to dress up as, of course, Sir Binks, because he's the easiest, really. But so that would be my Max prompt, is to dress up as Binks while I read a book. Side note, stick around until the very end of this video for a special treat from that very trip last year. All right, next is Danny, and Danny's prompt is to read a book about siblings. And this is one that I own, and it is already on my TBR for this month, and that is The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. Okay, this one was suggested, I think, by Kayla from BooksandLala, if I'm not mistaken, is where I heard about this book. But so here's the synopsis of this. Growing up in 1980s Niagara Falls, a seedy but magical, slightly haunted place. Yes, that one got me. I hope it got you too. Jake Baker spends most of his time with his uncle Calvin, a kind but eccentric enthusiast of occult artifacts and conspiracy theories. The summer that Jake turned 12, he befriends a pair of siblings, so prompt, and who are new to town, and so Calvin initiates them all into the Saturday Night Ghost Club. So that one sounds like a lot of fun. I've read it. I haven't read it. I have read, like on Goodreads and things, that a lot of people akin it to maybe like a feeling of Stranger Things. So that's exciting. And I may even dare to say reminds me a little bit of Disney's Gravity Falls, if you ever watched that. I know it's a cartoon for kids, but I enjoyed it. So that is Danny's prompt. The last prompt here, full-on prompt, is for Allison, and it is to defeat the Sanderson witches by reading a book about a witch. This is the one book that I was already planning on getting from the library this year, and it is The OK Witch. I can't remember the author, but you'll be seeing it on the screen right now. This I heard about from Savannah from Reading Enchanted. She's a new... Correction, her channel is called Enchanting the Ordinary. A newbie. Maybe I should learn how to talk. She is a booktube newbie as well. And I don't know too much about the story itself, but it is a middle grades graphic novel, and it will be my very first graphic novel. I've never read one before. But she showed us some of the illustrations inside of it, and oh man, they hit me dead center in my autumn spooky feels. So I knew I had to read that this month, and I get to, even doing this readathon. So that's exciting. I'm assuming by the title that she's a witch and she's just so-so at it. Maybe she's not that great. Maybe she learns how to be better. I honestly don't know. But it is about a witch, so that does fit this prompt. Our strength in this team is that you deserve something sweet. You may trade a prompt with another team's prompt of your choice. For that one, I am stealing a Team Sanderson's prompt, and I'm going to be stealing Mary, her prompt, and it is read a book about an evil character. So for this one, I've chosen The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. Yeah, Melissa Albert. And this one was suggested to me not by a person, but by a book outlet, I think. I was book shopping, and it was suggested, like, you may like this. And I saw it. I did not read the synopsis of it. I had no idea what it was about. But the cover got me. It is, I find it to be quite beautiful and intriguing. It's very kind of eerie and spooky, and it's figure 8 with, looks like a haunted house and some crows and a castle and some gates and all kinds of fun October stuff. So now that I do have it, I can finally learn what this book is about. And so overall, as far as I can tell, it's about a girl who has a grandmother who is an author of some like occultish type novels. She dies, and so she and her mother move into her grandmother's estate. And after they move in, her mother gets stolen away, and she's stolen away by a figure who claims to come from the cruel supernatural world where her grandmother's stories are set. So I'm gonna say that figure who comes from a cruel place would be our evil character for this prompt. So for this one, you don't have to read it, but let's say if for whatever reason maybe I couldn't get one of the books from the library, or something like that, or if I didn't finish it and I did happen to finish this one, I could replace it and still do all the prompts. So that's what this one is used for. Plus, I was already planning on reading this one because it's just about my time for the audiobook from my library. I'm number 1 on the list, so I should be getting it pretty soon. Okay, and then lastly, we have our weakness. So we have our strength, and we also have a weakness. And that is hurry. You have to be back home before curfew. So you must read one book only during the daytime. That one fits perfectly fine with me. Rarely will I actually read at night. I definitely read more during the day. So one of these will definitely be all read during the day, and most of the other ones probably will too. So I was so very happy that I found this readathon, first of all, because Hocus Pocus and 90s kid right here who loves all things fall and Halloween. Perfect. But also that things just really fell into place for me to actually be able to participate in this because it fit in line with mostly what I was already going to read and what I wanted to read eventually anyway. So I am excited, and I hope you are too. If you want to join in on this, everything you need to know about it is all listed down in the description. Also, all the books that I mentioned are going to be down there as well. Any of the people that I mentioned will be down there. So anything you need will be there. And I hope that means that I will see you soon.
Tis time to party.
But Winnie!
Yeah?
What about them?
Leave our not so scary friends to me. I put a spell on you. And now you're mine. You can't stop the things I do. I am mine. Ah, it's been 300 years, right down to the day. Now the witch is back, and there's heck to beg. I put a spell on you, and now